Hi, welcome to Primal Guitar. In this week's lesson I'd like to talk a little bit about the November Rain first solo and what's going on harmonically speaking, or melodically speaking. When I first started to play, I would learn this solo and thought it sounded so good, but I didn't quite understand why or what was going on. So the key thing to be aware of when you're playing this is what chord that you're playing over, and under no shadow of doubt the slash knew exactly what was going on, what chord he was playing over and what he was doing. So the chord sequence in the first half of this solo is F, D minor to C major. That's just F, D minor to C major, and that is, we're in the key of C here, so this is a 4-2-1 chord progression. It's fairly standard, but that's what's going on in the first half. And what he's doing is he's targeting the third of F, which is an A, and the third of any chord is what defines whether it's major or minor. In this case we're playing over an F major, and just sounds really sweet. So that's a good note anytime you're playing in your own context, to hit the third of a chord you're playing over. And be aware of which chord you're playing over in a sequence. That's something that didn't come intuitively to me really. It was kind of, I guess I came from the Kurt Cobain school of music, and it's a little bit more chaotic. So in any case, here we are. So the third of F, and then the chord D minor, which is the relative minor of F. So if you play the fourth chord, the second chord is the relative minor, if that makes sense. The fourth chord in terms of blues, 1, 4, 5. So you play a blues, the fourth chord, its relative minor is the second chord. So you can throw that in, if that makes sense. Now, the third becomes the fifth of the next chord, which is the second in the sequence. And then he plays the third of the first chord, the one chord, C. So that's the third, that's the fifth of D, and then the third of C major. And that's what's going on in the first half of that. That's the fifth of F, so that's C, so the notes in F are F, A and C. It's A and C. And the notes in D minor are D, F and A. D, F and A. F is the third, the minor third. A is the fifth, so A, E, C, E and G. These are the notes that he's playing over, and that's why it sounds so good. So you can, ideally you want to know your triad shapes, which for the F is root, third, fifth. And then the D minor triad, root, third and fifth. Sorry. Root, third and fifth. Root, minor, third, fifth. And that's back to the root, third and fifth. So if you know these forms, that's what he's playing around. And I didn't realise that when I was first learning the guitar and playing this. Just didn't realise that. So hopefully that alleviates some of the mystery. Now the second half of this solo, the chord changes, this chord sequence changes to a 2-5-1, which is the standard chord sequence for every single jazz tune ever written. 2-5-1. In this case it's D minor, G7 and C. D, is the 2 chord, C, D in the alphabet, right? C, D, right? And the second chord is always a minor. So 2, 5, 1. So he's going 5, and that's the 5th of G. So your D minor chord, obviously, is playing it up here, right? And he's just bending up to the G there. And he's playing a C, that's a C. Back to D minor. And then G. To C. And he's playing the 3rd. The note C. So that's the 3rd of C, and that's the root of C. See? This is all fairly textbook, but it sounds so good, and that's why we love Slash, because he just pulls it off so well. It's not just about playing the chord tones; it's about the way he accentuates the notes, the way he, for example, the first note obviously is a bend. Sorry. He's just bending up to the 3rd. That's just brilliant. It sounds amazing. That's why we all love this solo, because that's why it sounds so good though. So that wee lick. I loved that when I first learned. It's like, what is that? So he's playing over the D minor. These are just notes in the chord. And then so he's playing these are the 5th, he's playing around that D, and then around, that G, and then around this G, and then to the C. So hopefully that's, as I say, kind of lifted some of the shroud of mystery over that solo and why it sounds so good. So hopefully this was helpful for you. If you liked this lesson, please like and subscribe and click the little bell so you see future lessons. And in the meantime, just enjoy rocking out over your favourite Slash solo, right?